first went there, I remember the first times the only way I really end up becoming so tight with a lot of people is because every time I saw them, I was trying to rap against their ass. You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
Like Wayne, no, we about to start freestyling.
We gotta
Somebody
start
give
talking.
me a beat.
This is the kind of stuff we need to talk about. Let's go. You already got me started. Lloyd. See, this is good. Welcome to the happy hour, everybody, right here on Sirius XM Fly HB. I tell everybody, the happy hour is just gonna keep getting better and better and better. That's what I started off this 2016 saying, that you never know who's gonna stop by the happy hour. I'm excited. I met this young man a while ago on the Sway in the Morning show. That's my day job. So at night, of course, he come by and stop by to hang out with me. Heather B in the happy hour, everybody. Welcome Lloyd to the show. Oh! Everybody. Woo!
Yeah.
Queen to be. Tell me, Lloyd. One more. A vision. You forgot the vision part. A vision.
That's the only part I know.
Oh!
I'm dropping the mic.
All right.
That's
smart. That's smart about dropping the mic. You know why we were talking while the music was playing? Just about artists and the art of it all.
Yeah.
MCing, singing, different things. And of course, on the Sway in the Morning show, we have different challenges where artists will come through. They'll do like the 5 fingers of death. They'll try to. We even have R&B singers do it as well.
5 fingers of death.
5 fingers of death.
What is the 5 fingers of death?
All right, so DJ Wonder takes 5 different beats. It doesn't matter if it comes from country, reggae,
right,
and he try to trip up the artist that's rapping usually,
right,
and try to catch them off guard, throw them off.
Because people be saying they freestyling, but they be having verses stored up and practiced and saved, and then they go and they pretend like they recite it for the first time.
Lloyd, that's interesting that you bring that up. What's your definition of a freestyle?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I think that it's a culmination of things, but mostly it's using whatever is inspiring you at the moment and verbalizing it to a beat, basically. So basically it's like coming off the top. Now sometimes you can use bits and pieces of something that you might have of something written, I think, just to add it in, because I think that's been going on since the beginning of time. But at the same time, I mean, it's almost just like having to be aware of everything that's going on right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it definitely don't require a lot of hold up. Run it back.
See,
die line.
I've been a witness of a lot of people who have written rhymes, and they're the master at perception.
Yeah.
They can kind of play it off like it's a freestyle and it's written, but the way they kind of showmanship of it all,
it's amazing. It's a magicianship.
It is. And they do a lot of the finger movements, and it kind of blinds you to it. But I've also been a witness to some people who think that they're dope and they're not. And I was saying all this to say, I watched you a week or so ago come on the Sway in the Morning show and pick up that acoustic guitar and just go live.
Yeah.
Unrehearsed.
Yeah.
Play the drum, and I was like, wow, that's an anointing. And I say that because I've been in the industry for a long time, and I don't see that a lot anymore. I saw Life Jennings do that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Johnny Gill just sing just without even trying.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it was effortless.
Mm-hmm.
John Legend.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him do it. I don't see a lot of people do that anymore.
Listen, those names you just named, Life Jennings was in prison, right, for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he had an ample amount of time to get his game tight. You know what I mean? I mean, he's just like so strong. And then Johnny Gill, I mean, anybody that wear their shirt button only once for 20 years straight gotta be a beast.
One button thunder, let's
gotta
get
be
it.
A beast. John Legend, I don't know if he Asian, black, white, what. His music is so universal. I mean, he the first real young person I've really gravitated to, male, that just play a piano and sing a tune, and it'd be just as dope as somebody with a bunch of 808. So again, you naming people that ain't no joke. Like they real about it. I mean, when I say they real about it, I mean they really appreciate music that not only just is now. It's like you could tell that they come from something that is invested in the music of our pastime. You know, the Marvins. I remember watching Marvin on YouTube once, and he was playing the classical piano like Beethoven or somebody, and it was amazing to me because he never did that in a show
Right.
or on the record.
Right.
He was so dope that he knew how to use it and when to use it, but he still had it at his disposal. And I felt like, man, if I'm gonna ever be like these guys, if I'm gonna ever even be considered to be as dope as these guys or critically acclaimed as these guys, I gotta learn how to play some instruments.
Stop right there. He's here, Lloyd, in the happy hour with me, HB, only on Sirius XM Fly. Now, you know we only focus on music from the 90s and the 2000s, hip-hop and R&B.
Right.
It's on you. I'm going to let you DJ right now and play one of your joints, pick one of your
No, we
joints.
gotta play Candy Rain then. Because that's one of the first songs I ever like.
By Soul For Real?
By Soul For Real.
Let's get it poppin'. Candy Rain right here on Sirius XM Fly. Welcome to the happy hour, everybody, right here on Sirius XM Fly. Lloyd is hanging out with me, and he's talking about what inspired him, I guess I could say, towards making that mark of being one of the greatest. You mentioned Marvin Gaye and seeing him playing the piano classically. And I guess that sort of sparked something in you to want to pick up an instrument and play. Were you nervous at first, or you just was like, cats gonna think I'm crazy?
Still nervous, Heather. To this day, still nervous. A week ago when we played in Sways, fingers shaking, palms sweating. What a lot of people don't know is I missed a note at the end that's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? But I will say that having been in the game for a good amount of time has taught me how to just kind of hold my head even if I slip up a little bit. Because a lot of times you're the only person that know when something's wrong. You know? So just not folding. But, man, I still get nervous. And it's really cool because it kind of reintroduced me to music.
Yeah.
It reacclimated me to what made me fall in love with music in the first place, which was every time I would go in front of a crowd, I would have to overcome something about myself, some kind of insecurity or some kind of anxiety or nervousness that I felt because or inadequacy because I wasn't sure. Was I good enough? Was I handsome enough? What if I fall? What if I slip? Oh my God, you know, and who does this for a living? Why am I, sometimes you go and you're like, why am I about to subject myself to 20,000 people, you know? But then after doing it a few times, I started to become way more confident, a little overconfident. It's like, I can't lose now, you know? I can't wait. When's the next show?
Right.
Can't wait to damn near run out there before they introduce your name,
Right,
you know?
right.
So, and then when I picked up the guitar, it brought me back to having to humble myself so much because I knew that it was a respect thing. It was like I have to respect the instrument. I have to respect the fact that people aren't used to seeing me play an instrument.
Yeah.
So I remember the first time I picked up the guitar, I was in Australia, and I figured I'm on the other side of the world, right? So this the best place to start trying, right? Like if something happened here, it's gonna take at least 3 days for it to make it back home, you know?
You forgot about the internet.
I forgot about the internet, right? Now, luckily, this didn't make the internet, but I'm playing a song. And nothing goes wrong on my behalf, but when I pull out the guitar, the crowd's going crazy, and they waiting on the next song, and I'm like, I'm going to try this, and I perform a song that is a single, but I perform it acoustic, so I kind of produce it, reintroduce it to people.
Yeah.
And I start playing, man, and I'm getting into it, and somebody says, "What the hell is this?"
And you can hear that one person out of 5,000, that voice.
That one person, and I was like, I just had to keep strumming along, you know? And I'm thinking to myself, is he right? What the hell is this, you know? But I knew that that's what I was really passionate about. And if somebody was going to do it, it was going to be me no matter what. And I just kept doing it, kept trying it, finding little spaces to inject it into what I had going on without trying to overdo it, and then I started writing songs with it.
I think it's dope that someone who's experienced as much as you've experienced it and experienced and seen what you saw is still honest enough to come and say, I deal with nerves, because a lot of people don't like to say they get nervous.
A lot of people don't like to say anything that makes them seem imperfect or human. Or vulnerable.
And that's what it is. It's the vulnerability once you subject yourself to all of this stuff. You ever got booed before?
Booed?
Yeah.
Outright booed?
Booed.
No, I can say I've been lucky enough to never get booed. The only time I got close to being booed was when I was a little boy and I was doing a charity event.
Yeah, but did I just
Listen,
strike a chord?
I know it's starting out. I was doing this charity event. I was in Miami.
Mhm.
I was doing a charity event for Alonzo Mourning. And I'm
yeah.
so nervous after the show. This got to be one of the first shows of my life.
Okay, how old
in front
were
of
you?
a bunch of people. I was 11.
Okay.
And I'm performing. And after the show, I said, "Thank you so much, Orlando!" And we was in Miami like a mug, you know. Now, I don't think they was booing because of my talent or lack of. I think they was booing because I was just a flat out idiot, you know.
For not being present, right? For
Yeah,
not knowing where you were.
yeah.
Yo, that's Lloyd escaped the bulls of the Orlando crowd. They call it the ozone. That's what they told me when I was in Orlando.
the
They call it
ozone.
the ozone. He's here hanging out with us in the happy hour. Pick another joint. You doing good so far. You pick Candy Rain. Pick another joint.
I want something from Aaliyah, man, because I miss her.
Aaliyah.
Let's say, how about One in a Million? Can
One
you
in a
play
Million.
that?
Absolutely. Shout out to Missy, too. Yeah, Aaliyah, here she is up next on Fly. Yo, everybody, right here on Sirius XM Fly. I'm HB. He is still hanging out with us, and I'm excited. Lloyd is here. And we just been talking about everything. I feel like it's just nice to hear you be so transparent. Not that I expected anything else, but I just love when people talk about humility. And I love when people talk about wanting to learn more in this business and in this game, because we all know this business can do so much to us at no particular time. Like, you go through it, you put out records, you have to deal with record companies, you have to deal with A&R people, management, and then of course there's the family side of it. So it's good to hear you give like the human side of all of it. If you don't mind sharing, what was like, maybe you would say like your lowest point in the game?
Well, you know, when we was talking outside, we was talking about how you could fall out of love with the game, how you could fall out of love with the games that people play, and a lot of times when you come in, you're so naive, you're so green, as I call it, and you're really just so happy to be in a position to do something that you thought was damn near impossible, that when you get the opportunity, sometimes it's little things that you can overlook out of your excitement. For me, I kind of felt like I got to a point where I wasn't sure if the people around me was really with me or if they was just there to get something out of me. And so I kind of had to strip away a lot of my team. I remember the first time I had to fire my management. And these were people who I grew up with basically since 10, 11 years old. So I was way attached to them on a personal level. And the hardest thing, the lowest part, was when my personal and my business started to mix. And I didn't know how to separate it, and it took a toll on me when I was unsatisfied as far as business, and the personal relationships also took a dive, because I no longer wanted to necessarily be in business with certain people at certain times. And I think that what's really important to learn from that is that there really isn't a way to separate the two in this game, because it's so personal, because what we do is about heart, it's about soul, it's about family, it's about things that can't really be put into a dollar amount or an invoice, if you will. But it's really, really important to know that tough decisions have to be made, and sometimes everybody not going to be cool with them, but you got to know that you're doing it because it's what's best for you, and nobody's going to look out for you like you. At the end of the day, nobody. And so that was kind of really my lowest point. I think I've been real fortunate to have some really great people around me, whereas a lot of my peers, they kind of be having scumbags around them and people that just drain them. But I've had some really good people, and I tried to hold on to them as much as possible. But we grow, and sometimes we outgrow. And then sometimes we go over here, and then we come back, and then it's like, you know what? This wasn't for us, but we still can be dope together. And I think that that we was talking about that outside when I was asking you, and I want to ask you, how did you even decide to enter radio? How did you become such a queen of radio when you started off just like me? You know, just making music, loving music,
Yeah.
and I never really understood how did somebody go from music into media, and really so smoothly too.
Wow. Well, thank you for that. And Lloyd is here. If you just now joining Fly, I'm going to answer your question, Lloyd, and I'm going to do that up next. Not before I let you pick another joint, because this is Fly. I let all my guests here come and hang out and sort of DJ. I don't know if you got any side hobbies of DJing, but you get to DJ my show when you hear. Pick another joint you want to hear from the 90s through the 2000s.
Well, DJing is a little different than it used to be.
Yeah, it's different.
But, let me say, I want to pick two joints.
Okay.
Okay, I want to pick Leah. Because I miss her. She's one of my favorites. I want to play One in a Million.
Oh, man, that's a good one. Shout out to Missy Elliott and Timbaland.
And I also want to play one of my own, which is a remix to the song You, and it features Andre 3000 and Nas. So
Really? Yeah, that's absolutely on Fly. All right, you got that. We got more Lloyd, more Happy Hour up next on Fly. Welcome to the Happy Hour, everybody, right here on Sirius XM Fly Major B, hanging out with my young brother, my friend Lloyd, which has been a beautiful conversation so far. If you're just now joining the show, I'm glad you're here. Lloyd asked me how did I go from music full-time to now, I guess on the other side of it, being media. Since we are being transparent, I have to tell you, I was going through one of them low points in the music. I just didn't know what I wanted to do anymore. You know, people, obviously, it's no secret. Doing hip hop is one thing, but then being a female in hip hop is a whole nother animal. Yeah. And you just reach that point where I got frustrated for me, and I began to pray and just ask God, just send me a sign, just show me what to do, send me a sign, show me what to do, and that went on for 2 years. Now I don't know if I just was ignoring the signs or not paying attention, but I remember being in my bedroom and sitting on my bed, and it's clear as day, like how you and I are talking. I heard the word communicate. And I was like, okay.
Just communicate.
That's it, communicate. And I'm like, great. I do music, so what are you telling me? You know, I've done television, film, all these different things. It doesn't make sense, communicate. And I wrote the word down, went to bed that night, and had a vision. It wasn't even a dream, it was a vision. I walked into a building, did not know what building it was, and went into a door and saw a room. It was a radio station.
Right.
It had orange walls. And it was so vivid and so clear that I got up the next morning, took my notebook out, and I wrote it down. But the only thing different, I wrote down the orange walls, and then I just put radio show. And here's the ironic part. Rich Nice was in the room as well. Rich Nice is someone who who you met last week with Sway. He was in this room as well. And I just put radio show and question mark. I came up here probably a year or so later to Sirius XM to do the K Slay show. I'd never been to Sirius XM before.
Right.
When I walked into this room, it had orange walls.
Nah.
And it stopped my heart. It literally, I just looked back and I was like, well, what does this mean? Maybe it was just something with me playing a record or whatever. Okay, it makes sense. Lo and behold, a couple of years later, this happened. Say that was 2006 that this happened. 2010, Sway called me to come into Sirius XM and do an audition with him.
Right.
Because he was thinking about doing a show at Sirius XM and didn't even have a name on it.
Right.
When I got here with Sway, it was in that same room with the orange walls, but it was me, Sway, and Rich Nice.
That's crazy.
On the audition.
That's
that
crazy.
Was the first ever tape Sway in the Morning show. It was that was the audition tape. And I don't know. I just was like, wow, this was crazy. Didn't pay it any mind. And little by little, things just started to happen. And I have God to thank for it. You know, I don't know what to tell somebody. It's kind of hard for me to tell people, you know, oh, pursue your career and go to school, because that wasn't the route. It
happens different for everybody.
It happens different. But I will say the most consistent thing is to, when God gives you something or something is so heavy on your spirit, maybe it's a word, maybe it's a vision, maybe it's a feeling, maybe you pull something out of a magazine that attracted you or whatever the case may be, don't lose that. Don't let it go.
Yeah.
You know, because it's real. It's going to happen. You just can't give up.
And like you asked me earlier, you said what was one of the lowest points in my career, and I want to reflect on one of the coolest points in my career, which was I was at the BMI Awards because I'm a BMI writer.
Yeah.
And this year in particular, I think Reverend Run was a special guest, and he got up there and he says, um, "Always be open to the messages that are sent your way because 9 times out of 10, your greatest accomplishments aren't even going to be your ideas."
Mm.
But you got to be there to receive the message, interpret the message, and be a vessel for the message to flow through. And I just thought, I'm not a big religious guy because I have a lot of questions, but I am really spiritual, and I do believe in something greater than myself. And I just think that that's been this kind of the story of my life is that I've just been in the right place at the right time. I've been open enough to listen and at least give it a shot. And when I get that inspiration, I gotta heed to it, and don't fight it. So
Come on, you gonna try? The Holy Ghost about to come up in the happy hour. We need it. See, he know. He just ain't claiming no religion, but like he said, the spirit is on him. Lloyd is here hanging out with us in the happy hour. Lloyd, you gotta pick another joint. It's your time.
It's my time.
Pick another joint, man.
I'm going with LL Cool J Doing It.
Woo! With LaShawn right here on Sirius XM Fly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
One more break. Yep. It's the happy hour, y'all, right here on Sirius XM Fly. I'm hanging out with Lloyd. We supposed to be talking about his new project, but you know what? The conversation is just so genuine.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of hard. And I'm always interested in, the same way you asked me how, I'm interested in how. Because I know that this is not an easy road to walk. The music industry does something to entertainment. I just shouldn't say music. The entertainment industry does something to people, I think, like no other. A lot of times people could go from being, I wouldn't say a nobody, but being unknown to basically they can't walk down the street or they can't go into a mall.
Right.
And then certain things are expected of them from family members or obligations